Hello and welcome back to On the Workbench. Today we're taking a look at the Mac Tools model GS18HD suction grease gun with hose. So this is how it comes packaged. And if you look on the front, you can see how it's all red with some chrome caps. It does show some knurling on the box. We'll take a look at this in just a moment. We'll see that knurling doesn't actually present itself on the product as we get it out. And as we look at the back, and we go through the specs on it, a 16-ounce capacity, chrome-plated and tapered end cap, special heavy-duty T-handle with a 12-inch clear tube, and then at the very bottom down here on the side, made in China. Unfortunately, I couldn't actually find anyone that made these in the U.S., so I just had to suck it up and deal with it being made in China. That's okay. And so I've actually already unboxed this, but I didn't get a chance to do it on camera when I needed to use it. And so I put it back the way that it came. And so when you open the box, this is what you can expect to get. You get your clear vinyl tubing, and you get your suction gun. And so the first thing, when you look at the suction gun, there is no ribbing actually on the tube as the box shows. That's kind of weird, but you definitely get the chrome caps. And so one of the things with this, so what this is basically, think of this as a giant syringe for either doing oil changes on small engines, changing out differential fluid, transfer case fluid. So if you're doing a front end job, a rear end job, you could use this. And I'll show you some other tools here in just a second that it's comparable to. Now you can, if you're switching between fluids that you're using, you can take this apart by unscrewing the top. And that reveals this nice rubber plunger. And there's a spring. And if we look down, I don't know if you can see there in the tube, you can see out the other end. So think of this basically as a giant syringe for changing oil or other automotive fluids. You can find similar products to this either by various tool manufacturers. Even Harbor Freight sells them. They go from anywhere between about 10 and 30 bucks. I can't find any that are made in the U.S. But I want something nice and heavy duty, and you can see the plunger on that's really nice. We've got a barbed end at the end. And so this tube just simply slides over the barbed end like that. And then all you have to do is pull the handle back to be able to then extract the oil out, and then you can suck up clean oil and then put it in. And so one thing here at the very end, this does exhaust around the shaft here. So as you pull this out, you don't really want this in your face because it will push air backwards here. And then when you go to insert the oil or deposit it out of the gun, it'll drop. So now the tube that it comes with and on the box, it doesn't actually say the diameter. Because one of the things that you can do with this, you can actually easily replace this tube with a longer tube. And so then I went out to my local hardware store and I was able to find, I believe this was 7/16, this is 9/16 outside diameter, 3/8 inside diameter, maybe you can see that. And so you can get tubing of various lengths to go with this. And you could use some other fittings if you need to elongate this. So once you remove the one tube off the barb, you can put the other tube here on. So that barb fitting will hold it nice and tight. So if you need to get in somewhere, you could add a couple extra fittings to your tube lines. If you need to get down into a transmission or elsewhere, you can have an unlimited length of line for use with this gun. The types of tools that this replaces, if you've ever done and put in gear oil before, you might be familiar with these like soap pump style pumps here. I think these are just garbage because they break. I don't care, this one here has a lifetime warranty, because basically I've in the past had to just buy these whenever they're on sale and stock up on them because I think they're just garbage, and that's why I was excited to buy this Mac tool and to get an actual proper gun. So this garbage of this soap dispenser like thing I can kind of discard. I'll use this next time I need to do it just to get rid of it before it breaks, and then I'll just use this. Or the other alternative are these hand pump siphon guns. You might see these especially in the lawn and garden section of your local home store, where you've got a long thin tube like this This is actually nice because this does fit nice down into a transmission. And I have used this to adjust the levels in the transmission fluid when I've slightly overfilled it, just to get down to the right level. But you could easily do that the same thing with the Mac Tools gun. And the problem I've always had with these is these seem to always leak out around the fittings. You can see where this is just kind of has stuff oozing out. There's a pump in here, and let's just take this apart. And so since this is a plastic case here, if we pull out this plunger here, you can see that's just got one small O-ring on it versus the larger rubber plunger in the Mac Tools gun. So to demonstrate how the suction gun works, I'm going to change the oil right quick on my Toro Time Master lawnmower. Now on this specific engine there is no drain plug, so the only way to change the oil is remove the dipstick, which goes right here, and then tip the mower on its side and then drain the oil out that way, which is kind of a mess and a pain. But with a suction gun, this job is made a lot easier. So let's watch. Couple of final thoughts about the suction gun here. Number one, you can get this much cheaper than the Mac version. I got the Mac only because I really liked red and I liked the chrome on the ends. But if you don't mind that, you can get it much cheaper than the Mac versions. The links for that will be below. Number two, I'm really excited to have this in the shop. I think this is a real game changer, especially if you own small engines or you do a lot of front or rear end or transfer case service, where I think you could even use this just doing with some different hose on the end for transmission fluid service. I think this is a real game changer compared to the other options that have been out there in the past. I'm not sure how long suction guns as a tool have been out there. Maybe they've been out there longer than I think, but this seems to be a relatively new tool category for me, and I'm excited to add this to the shop. And I think that if you do a lot of automotive repair services, you really should consider spending the 10 or 15 bucks to get a tool like this and add it to your toolkit. And then just like that, with minimal mess, we got the oil out thanks to our suction gun. Just let the tube at the bottom drip out into your oil pan like I'm doing right now, and then refill your mower with oil. No tipping it over, no fuss, no mess. Easy as can be, just pour in the new oil and you're good to go. So if you're one in the life for trying to make your life easier for oil and other automotive and engine fluid maintenance, I'd highly recommend getting a suction gun. I'll put a link to a couple other versions that you can find on Amazon below to help support the channel. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below if you've got a favorite suction gun, and have a great day. Bye.